They messed with my pay. I ended up taking their business away from them. Many years ago, I took a job with a regional cable reseller right after a regulatory change opened things up. Overnight, a bunch of tiny companies popped up, all trying to sell bundled TV and internet packages before the bigger providers swallowed them. Most of these companies didn't sell directly. They hired independent marketing crews and paid them aggressively to lock in customers fast. I joined one of those marketing firms. It was one of those places that thought it was reinventing work. Casual dress, motivational talks every morning, and a lot of talk about energy and mindset. Everything was commission-based, but the payout chart was steep enough that if you really pushed, you could make serious money. They didn't think anyone actually would. We could work whatever hours we wanted, as long as numbers came in. I decided to treat it like a stress test. 1 week, all in, long days, no breaks, just selling. I wanted to see what the top end of the chart really meant. By Friday, I had outsold everyone else by a wide margin, not just for the week, but more than most people did in a month. According to their own math, I had earned an amount that made people uncomfortable to say out loud. The following Monday, I was told there were issues. Nothing major, just paperwork problems. Addresses written too small, a checkbox not filled dark enough. Things that had never mattered before suddenly mattered a lot. They said I'd still get paid, just slowly, after everything was reviewed. The first payment was a fraction of what it should have been. That's when I realized they weren't confused. They were scared. A few days later, the operations manager pulled me aside after work and asked if I wanted to grab a drink. Over cheap beer, he admitted leadership hadn't planned for someone hitting those numbers. They'd assumed the top tier was theoretical. He also told me something else they didn't want getting out. They weren't actually authorized to sell in our region. They were subcontracting off a contract held by someone else who hadn't been active in the area for years. They were counting on no one noticing. We noticed. Together, we reached out to the contract holder, explained what was happening, and made a simple offer. We'd handle the sales locally. He'd stay hands-off and collect his share. Everyone wins. He made one phone call. Within a week, our former employer was told to stop selling immediately or prepare for legal action. When I went back to collect my final check, the office was already half empty. No music, no speeches, just boxes and paperwork. One of the owners asked if I felt bad about how things turned out. I told them no. I felt paid late. The business we built after that ran quietly for years until it was eventually absorbed by a larger provider.